everyone, and welcome back to the Strawberry Field. We are in episode 50 of the Love Wreck Legacy Challenge. I am actually so happy that, we're in like half a century now. 50 episodes? That's awesome. I genuinely didn't think I would get this far in the series, but I just fell in love with the storylines and the characters, and I'm just so happy. And as you saw, Hiei has moved out and is now living with her new wife. And it was such a sweet wedding. I really enjoyed playing them. I just wanted to do a little farewell before, leaving her off to do whatever she wanted. But we're back in the house, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut to the next day because it's really just a skill day and it's not that fun. And we are in that next day. Ryu had stayed up for as long as she could painting away. She wanted to fill up the market so she could open it up and begin selling. And the first to wake was Tamaha. She got ready, brushed her teeth, washed her face, got some food, and went on her morning jog. It became a ritual for her, a way to cleanse from whatever night she had. Malia followed suit in her own way, grabbing food and sitting down and just eating. She wanted to go back to sleep. It was summer break. She did not want to talk with anyone, be near anyone. She wanted to relax away from her two little brothers that were driving her more and more insane. The twins were definitely something. They were sweet, sure, but loud. Especially baby Kiki. He could not for the life of him keep his voice down, and it was driving Malia mad. So mad that she had to go out with her two best friends. Malia met Elijah and Isaiah at the beach. They settled into the sand, built some sand sculpture, and relaxed in the warm sun. Summer break was here, and it was time for them to get ready for a new adventure. Malia kept rambling to Isaiah about how excited she was that the two of them were starting high school together. And Elijah smiled, saying that high school wasn't as good as the both of them were imagining. But Malia chose to ignore him and instead fantasize about all the school parties she would be going to and all of the dances, all of the friends she would be making. It was something she couldn't wait for. Isaiah, on the other hand, was a little bit more shocked. He wasn't unprepared for school, but he would have much rather have stayed in his childhood, and Elijah would tease him for it. Malia just giggled. It was all she could do, all she really wanted to do. She wanted to be happy for as long as she could, and Elijah would happily let her be. And with that, Malia went home fantasizing about what high school would really be like. That next morning was met with thunder. It clashed outside and pounded onto the roof. Baby Kiki and Atama crawled over to the living room, disgruntled and very tired. They were woken up by the thunder and weren't too happy about it. Ryu got up and decided to make everyone some chocolate crepes, and Tamaha woke up from the sweet smell getting ready for her day. Ryu had a plan for the evening, something that only she would go to and, hopefully experience. Malia followed suit with eating the little crepes, and soon enough everyone was awake, and Tamaha made the plan to go out on a date. Tamaha and Tane met at the bar. They sat down, and at first it felt awkward. This was the first time they were both trying this out. But soon enough, it began feeling as if they were just friends, just hanging out and giggling and laughing about whatever the other person said. And Tamaha felt romance spark in the air. Without realizing it, they started sharing flirts and blowing kisses and even sharing their first kiss. Tamaha couldn't help herself and just took lead. It was something she had almost dreamed of for a while before she finally asked, "Would you be my boyfriend?" And Tane burnt up like the sun. He went as red as a tomato, giggling, "Yes, I would love to." And the two just shared in their moment, laughing and giggling, and well, it was the sweetest day that Tamaha would. And this was the sweetest day Tamaha knew she would ever be on. Though she had high hopes to be with Tane, nothing could beat a first kiss. And on the other side was Ryu. She had called up the local detective that was helping on her case to find who had stolen all of the money. His name was Jack, and he was strong-built and a little stoic. He was kind and funny, and well, Ryu took a very big fancy. She invited him to get some drinks at a bar and maybe talk about the likelihood of her ever finding, well, everything she owned, all the money she worked so hard for, and he agreed. And with a few flirts and a few drinks, something was building. But it wasn't building as fast as Ryu wanted. She wanted to have the drama and the love now, to experience everything she could with him in that very second and that very hangout. But they had another plan. Jack was extremely in love with his wife, and he would never, ever be disloyal to her. And so those few drinks went in and out, and Jack left, calling this hangout over and leaving Ryu all by herself, when all of a sudden, none other than Aleki was at the bar. And Ryu took this moment to, well, flirt with him. They shared their kisses and woos, and well, Ryu found out Aleki was married. He had gotten a wife and they had a baby together, and well, it was something Ryu never expected of Aleki. So she decided to ask what was the likelihood of him wanting to have a girlfriend too. Though Ryu felt guilty and some part of her that she was somewhat breaking the family apart, Aleki's was hers first. That next day, Ryu went to bed extremely late. She had crawled back from the bar and passed out on her bed at 5 a.m. Tamaha, who had just woken up, had caught her mom in the act. She ran off on her jog, choosing to ignore whatever shenanigans that Ryu had found herself in. And before they knew it, just as soon as she had set her head down to fall asleep, she was up again, getting ready to open up her business for that day. She was going to sell every single one of her paintings and make as much money as she could. Tamaha decided to go out with some friends while Malia focused on her skills. She wanted to max out both acting and singing and see what she could do. The twins also worked on their skills, and well, we're just gonna go ahead and cut to the end. And I am happy to say that the Kim household successfully made 23,000 simoleons. And Ryu decided it was time to finally get set up for a very special birthday. The twins, Atama and Kiki, were aging up to children. It felt almost like yesterday that they were born. And a part of Ryu, well, she started to feel it again. The sadness of her babies growing up. She was so happy they were getting this fulfilled life and growing up and being able to see the world, just like how Malia was becoming such good friends with her childhood friends, and Tamaha, who was falling in love, and Hiei, who had just moved out, and well, Ryu didn't want it all to be over. The birthday began and everyone came rounding in. People grabbed food, started dancing, watching some movies. Elijah even came. Malia was a little confused how he knew her mom, but it was still something. Tamaha was so happy that Tane was there, and they told everyone that they were officially dating. Even Hiei came with her new wife, Ione. They were lovebirds, still in that honeymoon phase, but Ryu knew that they would never leave it. And soon enough, the boys aged up to children. First, baby Atama, and then baby Kiki. They were so adorable, and Ryu was so happy. With Aleki here with them, it really did feel like a family. And a part of Ryu wondered if Aleki would want to just be hers. Thank you guys so much for coming to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to check out the next episode. Remember to be safe. Bye!